Hey, you're listening to Rozz Rezabek on the Rock Stop with Chris Contra.
We were talking a little bit last time about Sid Vicious, and I just want to get your take on him a little bit, because there's the perception of this guy, the legend of Sid Vicious versus who he truly was. And you had some encounters with him, right? I thought maybe.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, I think, where some of this idolation after his death and everything, in the case of Kurt Cobain, is kind of warranted. All this idolization and people wanting to be like, or, wearing these shirts with Sid Vicious on them. Mm-hmm. He really, it is really undeserved, unless you just want to idolize, someone who is just, is just a jerk.
Yeah.
If a girl left her purse open by him, he would steal the money out of it.
Wow.
Even, if he was even as he's at the top of their game, when they're big rock stars, he would, he'd steal money out of any girl's purse. He went to parties and just laid around. He's wearing these leather pants that were just soaked with urine. He smelled so badly like urine. He'd obviously gotten so drunk and fucked up that he'd urinated himself.
Wow.
And, he just wasn't that funny, I was not like Will was like, the true like punk blueprint, as I used to call him, the blueprint,
Yeah.
He was what Sid should have been like, but Sid wasn't. Sid was not involved in politics. Sid didn't have a strong stance, and he's just a guy that liked to get as fucked up as possible all the time. And I know I sound kind of hypocritical, because I was pretty fucked up back then a lot of the time too, on booze, and so was Ricky from the Sleepers and other people, booze and pills and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like seeing Sid Vicious, it was kind of like, wow, this guy's kind of a dork.
Yeah.
To this guy, and we wear shirts with this guy's picture on him. That more than anything was one of the things that really I found disillusioning.
Right.
Towards the, in the punk scene, was how Sid Vicious was all idolized. And he just basically went from party to party and stayed until, like, the word would start getting around, oh, two of the Sex Pistols are at this or that party. The one up in the Haight is the one that people always talk about. And then by the time everybody starts getting there, and, even me, and I was kind of inside the loop, having, tried to do the show with them at Winterland there.
Yeah, that was their last show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hardly remember that. I just remember it being fun. Just, it's like, you want to play back here? Play.
Right.
And just getting kind of the green light to just riot back there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bill Graham wanted to get it over and get everybody out of there at that point, because he turned up the house lights when we were supposed to go on, had, these bikers like pushing people away. And it was kind of weird. It was like, I remember these guys totally picking me up and pushing me to this fire exit door and shoving me outside. And then another door, this is on the back side of the building, about 20 feet away, some guy opened the door and saying, come on in here. And he let me right back in. But the deal that happened while I was out, that little short time, is they got rid of our equipment.
So that was all gone. You guys couldn't even play.
So, yeah, well, they said, you can play. Go ahead.
With no equipment.
And no equipment, and the house lights are on, and we had our run of the backstage, so there was just this line of, like, I don't know, 50 or 60 garbage cans full of little 6-ounce Olympia beers. Little tiny cans. That's what they had backstage.
Yeah.
For booze. And I just started tipping over every friggin' garbage can. There was like water about an inch deep. It was cool though, because like ABC, NBC, and CBS were there, and that was all there was back then. There wasn't even Fox. The three major networks, and the three major networks all had a representative there on the evening news in what has been termed punk rock. The punk rock band the Sex Pistols played their last gig in the United States tonight. You know, it's like Dan Rather breathing. You know, it was really funny because it was like it was a national thing. And then, of course, all the Hollywood stars went up to be there, and I think a lot of them found Sid repugnant too. I mean, he was just a repugnant person. You know, if you want to idolize someone, idolize Iggy Pop, you know, or somebody that is really worthy and has like survived and whatever. Anybody in San Francisco thought he wasn't going to OD on dope.
Right. And it's funny because
a month or two.
These days, you know, there's so many like documentaries and things still on this guy. Like he is still worshipped by all these people for some reason. And even like the whole thing with Nancy. I mean, did you know Nancy at all?
What's weird is one of my first internet stalkers was Nancy's sister. And she has gotten in touch with me a couple of times and like all this stuff wanting to talk to me about. And I really don't know nothing about, Nancy. I really didn't. I never met the woman.
Right.
Like I told you in one of our earlier interviews, people got sick of Sid Vicious, and it was like, get him out of town. And I think it was Lamar drove him down to L.A. Yeah, let those guys fawn over him. Get him out of here. We're tired of this guy. You know?
Yeah.
He's depleting our resources. He's depleting all our girlfriends' money. He's depleting all the cute chicks.
Yeah.
There was nothing about him that was, and it's funny, I've started fights and I've started friendships that way many times, with people, you know. I saw a girl one time wearing a Sid Vicious t-shirt, and I said, God, if you ever met that guy, you'd feel creepy crawly with that shirt next to your skin. And then she ended up becoming a really good friend.